All right, this right here, what you guys are seeing on your screen, this is the exact funnel that we use to scale a life insurance agency from zero to $100,000 per month in just 85 days. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this whole complex shenanigan of colored squares and lines actually works, so that you can basically just copy this for yourself to see similar success. So real quick before we dive into this and I really break this down and get real nitty gritty into the weeds as far as how this whole thing works, let me just show you guys some of the results of agents that have used this very recently. So obviously you're on our YouTube channel. These are videos that we posted just in the last couple weeks. This guy's name is Nate. He used to way overspend on life insurance leads and wasn't really seeing as much success as he wanted to. And in his first, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks using the system, he wrote $14,000 in approved annual premium from only $1,000 in lead spend, which I don't have to be a math genius to tell you guys, that's a 14x return on his leads. So if you guys aren't getting a 14x return on your leads currently, you might want to pay attention to this video. Another example, right? This guy's name is Ben. This was either his second or third month in the business. I think it was his third or second, 2.5 months in. He wrote $42,000 in 1 month using this exact funnel that I'm going to show you guys. Pretty cool. This is Julian right here. He's a 26-year-old who's selling 20 grand a month using the same system that I'm going to break down for you guys in this video. Or Brett right here, who he actually wrote $4,800 in just one single day on these exact leads using this whole system and the structure of the automations and everything I'm going to break down for you guys in the video. So I won't go too far and there's more videos and results I could show you guys, but I just wanted to real briefly just say hey, look, these are people that are actually getting results. You can set aside your BS meter as we go through this video because the system actually works. Cool. So let me show you guys how this actually breaks down and the fundamentals of how this works so you can build it for yourself. So in any system, right, we need something that's called inputs, right? I won't get too techno-babble on you guys, but inputs, right? You need something coming into the system to produce outputs, which is our goal here, which is a sale, right? Our goal obviously is to get a sale. So basically the inputs into our system are Facebook leads, right? So Facebook leads, we obviously, in order to sell life insurance, you need leads, right? So we use Facebook leads. Now, the reason why is because they're cheap, right? They're high quality, and you can scale them really quickly. Let me just show you guys an example right here. Let me escape out of this. This is one of our clients' ad accounts right here. And as you can see, here's one, ad set right here. We run this whole campaign for him. In the last 7 days, he's gotten 107 leads for an average cost of $8.09 each, right? As you can see here, we have a bunch of ads that we're running for him. For example, this one ad got 5 leads for $2. This one got 18 leads for $9. This one got 78 leads for $8.30, 6 leads for $5.60. You can see the average cost in the last week is $8.09, which is pretty cool. I think the average cost that our clients pay, it used to be $8.36. I think the last time I checked, it's $8.06. So this guy's a little bit above the bell curve in terms of averages. So yeah, that's why we use Facebook leads. They're low cost. We can generate them at scale for our agents. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let me go back in here and I'm just going to kind of walk through this, right? So Facebook leads is the input into our system, right? So once we get the Facebook leads, we basically send them into a CRM, right? What some people do is they send them into a spreadsheet or something like that. The problem with that is the lead just gets lost. And the only way it's getting worked is if you call them, right? We want to be able to leverage automations and workflows and AI to be able to work our leads while we're doing other things, right? If I'm selling a policy, I want my automations to also be prepping another policy in the back end. Hopefully that makes sense. So lead comes in, goes into the Go High Level CRM, which I'll show you guys how that actually looks in just a moment. But first I'm going to kind of go through the structure of it so you guys can understand this. So lead comes in, goes into the CRM, right? And I'll touch on this wave dialer thing and how this works in a second too, but I just want to show you guys this. So if they answer when we call them, then we go through and we use our script, right? If they don't answer, then we're going to trigger a bunch of automations like text and email that are going to go out to them to try to basically convince them to fill out an extra form that's going to give us more information, right? So these automations are trying to get them to basically book an appointment is the whole point. Everything funnels to the appointment and the appointments all funnel to sales. So that's essentially kind of the structure of it, right? So let's say a lead comes in, goes into the CRM. Let's say we call them and they don't answer. Now it's going to trigger all of these automations. I believe it's a 14-day email sequence that's going to go out to them. It sends them an email every single day. It might be 8 or 9 days. I'm not honestly exactly sure. It's been a while. An email sequence that goes out to basically convince them to book an appointment. If they don't book, it then adds them into another sequence. And then they get added into what we call the master list, which this is basically this giant list that just builds and builds and builds over time inside of your CRM. And I'll kind of show you guys how that works in a second. So that's if they don't answer, you end up sending them to all these automations. And the goal is basically to get them to book an appointment. As you guys can see, pretty much everything is funneling here into appointments, right? So if they book an appointment, they're either going to show up or not show up. If they don't show up, we then have all of these automations that will go out to the leads to basically prompt them to book an appointment back on the calendar or respond to a text so we can engage with them to go back and speak with them, right? So we're booking all these appointments. Some of them are going to show, some of them are not going to show. If they don't show, we have another email and text sequence that goes out to get them to re-engage or rebook, right? And then obviously we have the appointment reminders and, videos for them to watch and stuff, all of that kind of thing. So let's say they book an appointment and they end up becoming a client, right? Now here's where things get really cool is because our goal, I lied a little bit earlier. Our goal is not just to get our sale, but our goal is to get them to pay their bill for 6 months. Or not 6 months, 12 months. Our goal is to get them to pay their bill for 12 months so that we don't get a chargeback. Ultimately, the goal is to get them to keep the life insurance policy for the whole term or for their whole life so that it actually pays out. But just for the sake of this example, we need to keep them on the book for at least 12 months, right? So how do we do that? Well, there's a couple things that we automate in the background to help assist with that. Number one, we send all of our clients a handwritten letter, and we actually automate this. So whenever we make a sale, a handwritten letter is automatically sent out to the client. The other thing too that we do is we have automated payment reminders that go out to the client to remind them because this is a new bill that they're adjusting to. We want to do everything we can to make sure that they pay it, not only for our sake, but also for their sake so they can keep the policy. So we're going to send them these payment reminders like, hey, your payment's coming up in 3 days. Just make sure that you have the money in there, blah, 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 right? So then if they do pay their bill on time, we're going to be sending them these holiday text sequences just so we kind of stay top of mind. And what's really cool is people don't really take advantage of this, but there's a lot of money in your existing clients. Because guess what? Every person knows. Every person knows other people, right? Meaning that if you can get referrals, sell policies to the other family members in the house, that's a lot of extra insurance that you can sell just from your existing book. And when we stay top of mind and we're sending them these texts, the chances that happen go way up. The other thing that we do too, which is, kind of some ninja stuff that we've kind of added into this whole thing is, I believe it's 30 days before their birthday, every single year, we send them a text and an email saying, hey, I saw your birthday was coming up. Just wanted to reach out and let you know if you want to lock in some more life insurance at a discounted rate, reach out to me because your prices are going to go up in a month when you turn whatever their age is. So reach back out to me. Let's set up a time and we can talk about potentially adding on coverage because inflation's getting crazy, right? And that goes out every year to every client. So if you get once you have 365 clients, you have one of those going out literally every day. So basically this whole automated system in the background allows you to just build up this massive book and business that compounds on itself because you're getting these referrals and upsells and cross sells. And that's what's really cool about the holiday text, right? And if they don't pay their bill, we have a chargeback automation, and you can actually hire an assistant that will go out and call your chargebacks for you. But that's a whole different video, right? So let's talk about what the wave dialer actually is. So basically, when you call just through like your CRM or you just call with like your cell phone, you're dialing very inefficient, right? It's basically like trying to chop down a tree with an axe when instead you could use a chainsaw, right? Like the axe will still get the job done, but if I have a chainsaw right here, I'm gonna use the damn chainsaw every single time, right? And that's the same way that I think about the dialer, right? So what wave dialer is, and I can show you guys like how this actually looks in practice in a sec, but it locally wraps your area codes and it increases your answer rate by like 5x. Meaning that if I'm calling somebody, let's say I'm in North Carolina, which listen, I actually am in North Carolina. So if I'm in North Carolina and someone else is in Texas and I call them, my number is going to show up as Texas, which boosts the likelihood that they will answer the phone, obviously. If I'm in Texas and I call someone that's in California, my number is going to show up as a California number. If I'm in Arizona and I call somebody in Iowa, my number is going to show up as a Iowa number. Exactly. So the cool thing about this, again, is it just makes you way more efficient with your time, which like all of these agents that I was just showing you, the reason they're able to have these results is because they are just using their time more efficiently than you are. Where is my thing? Here we go. They're just using their time more efficiently than you are. And part of it is the automations, but part of it is also when they're calling, they're using a dialer that increases the likelihood that they get answers, right? So that's essentially like high level overview, how the system works. I'm also going to show you guys kind of the script, but I also want to show you guys like what this actually looks like for an agent. So as the agent, you're essentially using this dialer, the wave dialer, that's going to obviously increase your answer rate, and you're going after your new leads. You're calling some of these older leads as well, because there's a lot of money in that list, and if you can call people more efficiently, it makes so much sense to call your old leads. You're calling your appointments, and you're working follow-up, right? So let me show you guys what this actually kind of looks like inside of Go High Level, right? So a lead comes in, they're going to go in to this new lead column, right, whenever they come in. And what I can do is, let's say I had a bunch of leads here. I just click here to call, and it's going to call through all of these leads. I can call multiple numbers at the same time, and it'll locally wrap my dials. So I can actually call up to 3 people at once if I want to just get through my leads really quickly and increase the odds that I'm talking to somebody on the phone. So our new leads come in here. Once we've called them a couple times, it's going to automatically move them over here to called lead, right? And then once they've been called 20 times, then they get moved over to this thing called the master list. So I basically have multiple lists, right? This is like your hottest list. These two right here. The pre-approval form, this is just like a form that we send them where they can answer questions. It's basically like, if someone fills out the pre-approval form, like they're basically saying, sign me up for life insurance, because we ask them health questions on it. So these are like your hottest leads. This is your hot list, right? Then these are the people that you've called a few times and maybe they haven't answered. So this is like your super hot list. And then this is like your hot list, the called lead is, right? Hopefully that makes sense. And then once you've called them like 25 times or so, they get moved over to the master list. And this is basically just like all of your leads end up here. So this obviously says 0 right now, but in a CRM where there's like an agent is like active in here, this is just a sample account. This can get up to like thousands of leads. So what you can do at a certain point is you can just hire like a dialer to go through and call your master list for you and just set appointments on that list, right? Because like there's so many leads in there, they can dial for days and days and days and never call everybody. That's their goal, is you have so many people you don't even know what to do with them, right? Then if people book, they show up here. If they don't show up, then you move them over here and then automatically sends out all those automations I was telling you about. You also have a column for follow-up. So you're going to, these are people that maybe you quoted and for whatever reason they couldn't buy now. You throw them into follow-up and add some notes. Sale, obviously is a sale, chargeback result, right? This is kind of like the pipeline of how it works. So I'm going in here and I'm going to basically, all I have to do is click right here where it says call. and it's automatically going to cycle through all of the people that are inside of my pipelines, which is really, really cool. And that's essentially how the wave dialer works. So hopefully you guys kind of understand like how this fits together. You're basically spending your time coming in here, calling through the leads, and then also like you can go in here and you're going to have leads that are texting back and forth with you and responding that you can basically interact with. So that's essentially how the CRM kind of looks. The other thing too that I want to show you guys is like the script, right? Because as you can see here, this green part, like if they answer, everyone that's working the system is using this highly structured and built out sales process. And this is essentially like kind of how it looks and how it works, right? So basically you come in here, we've organized everything and color coded it so it's easy to read, because ultimately when you're using a script, like you're using it on the phone, you need to be able to navigate it quickly, right? So you come in here, there's basically 9 steps of the call. You have the call intro, discovery, labeling their problem, setting expectations, health questions, quotes, closing, filling out the application, which we have all the e-applications linked here, and then the cooldown, which is basically, telling them what the next steps are. Pretty simple, right? And then also asking for referrals. The cool thing is, why I really love the script is one, like it's, as you guys can see, like it's very easy to read versus like these literally tiny black and white scripts that like the text is really hard to read and it's not really structured. This is very easy to read and navigate through. But my favorite part is that the objection overcomes are actually linked throughout. So when an agent gets on the phone, instead of them having to think, like let's say you call me up and I say, yeah, no, I'm not interested. If you don't have a reply immediately ready to go, you've already lost that call. And that person could have bought if you had the proper rebut to that objection. So, which is why we've made all of the objections really easy to navigate. Let me see if I can just fix that. Cool. So for example, these are linked all throughout the script. So if someone says, yeah, I'm not interested, all I have to do is click right here. It takes me to I'm not interested. Yeah, no worries. And when you say you aren't interested, is it because you think it might be unaffordable or because you don't think you can get approved, right? Oh, well, I don't think I can get approved. I've been declined a bunch of times, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that makes sense. And when you say that you've had trouble getting approved, like, did they tell you why? Oh, no worries. We actually specialize in helping people, with diabetes get approved. I just have a couple of health questions, blah, 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 blah. And every single objection that you can run into over the phone is already scripted out for you here on the script. So like, obviously in this system, part of it is the automations, part of it is having the dialer, part of it is the low cost leads and everything else. But also like the lead is only as good as the person calling the lead. Like, let's be candid here. And if you don't have a system like this to make you more efficient and more effective on the phone, like you're just going to get beat by other agents that do, right? So hopefully you guys are like seeing how beneficial this is. Because I'll tell you what, like when we started using this, oh my God, like the sales were like, they were decent and then they went to insane, right? Just from being able to have this and quickly access the objection overcomes, because a lot of your calls are not going to be just laydowns. Sorry to burst your bubble, but that's just not the case. And so when you're easily able to like use this to figure out what to say, and you don't have to think about what you're saying, you're just focusing on how you're saying it, your closing like percentage just goes sky high. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the system that we use to write $100,000 a month in final expense premium. If you guys want us to set this up for you, link below in the description, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.